meeting will be called to order. Before we start, though, I have a pledge of allegiance. So if you could stand and thank you. If you could stand and join us for the pledge of allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I'm saluting my husband.
What's that?
I feel like I'm saluting my husband.
Thank you very much. The following matters will come before the Revere License Commission. This is a regularly scheduled meeting, the initial order of business will be the applications submitted for consideration. Item number 1 would be St. Mary's of the Assumption Church, 670 Washington Avenue. Stephen Fielding is the contact. This is an application for a special one-day license for malt, wine, common victualers, and entertainment. The license will be executed and exercised at St. Mary's Hall, 670 Washington Avenue, from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. on Saturday, March 17th, for a St. Patrick's Day dinner dance. Your name and address for the record, please, sir.
Stephen Fielding, 153 Gore Road, Revere, representing St. Mary's Holy Name.
Very good. And this is a event that you guys have had for a year. If you just want to run through it quickly.
About 30 years. It's an annual event. And basically, it's a dinner dance, about 90 to 100 people. And that's really it.
Very good. Do you have any of the commissioners have any questions?
I have no other questions. Same event every year. It's always a great one. And I have no questions. I wish you luck. I wish I could go. It's the 17th.
Make a motion to approve the one-day license.
Okay, before we get to the motion, I have to close that part of the hearing. Are there any proponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the hearing. Are there any opponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the hearing. There is a motion to approve the one-day license.
I'll second the motion.
The motion to approve the application for a special one-day license for St. Mary's for malt, wine, common victular, and entertainment has been approved. The license will be exercised at St. Mary's Hall, 670 Washington Avenue, from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. on Saturday, March 17th, 2018, for a St. Patrick's Day dinner dance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Item number 2, Black Marble Motorcycles, LLC. The Black Marble Motorcycles of 649 Squire Road, Heather Vieira, event manager. Excuse me, this is an application for a special one-day license for malt, wine, common victular, and entertainment to be exercised at the same location. The requested date and time is Thursday, February 22nd, 2018, from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. Event is a trivia night. Your name and address for the record, please.
Heather Vieira, 13 Jones Street, in Everett, Massachusetts, representing Black Marble Motorcycles.
Can you explain a little bit about what you want to do here, and we'll
Yes.
see what you approve it.
Tomorrow night, we'd like to be hosting a trivia night for some of our customers to come in. We've had a couple of motorcycles that are going out for our winter storage, so kind of celebrating, giving them a reason to come into the dealership, even though the weather hasn't been great for motorcycles.
Very good. Now, is this going to be the usual as far as your wristbands and the amount of alcohol that can be consumed is basically the same thing that you've been
Yes.
doing on an ongoing basis?
Yes, we're only serving beer, and it's 2 per person. They get a wristband when they come through the door, and it's marked off once they've hit their limit.
Very good. Do you have any questions, Commissioner?
Okay, this event's going to be held indoors?
Yes.
Okay, so there'll be nothing going on the outside?
No.
Okay, because usually you have like both, no?
Usually we have it outside. Usually with the winter months, though, we've been keeping it inside. Most people don't want to be outside, and it's a little easier for us to make sure that beer is not leaving the building and going where it shouldn't be.
Okay, and do you have any idea what the attendance might be?
As of right now, it looks like it's between 30 and 50 people for tomorrow night.
Oh, okay, so you wouldn't think there's any need of detail? Or are you planning detail or security or?
I do have some security for our front doors, our service doors, making sure that we don't exceed the maximum capacity. If for some reason it does become larger than we're expecting, I believe our maximum occupancy for that building is 350 people, but they're also maintaining, again, making sure beer doesn't go outside of the building, and that if there are any issues, that it's resolved. And I have about five people under, 5 of our employees who have been designated for that.
They have. Now, I don't remember, but have you had detail at every one of these events? No. No, you haven't. And we've had no issues.
When we've done the outside events, we've reached out to Revere Police and asked them for their opinion, any specific security measures we should be taking, and the fire department as well, to make sure that we're within regulations, and they haven't recommended a detail for us yet.
So at what point the count that you would want to call the police for detail? Because I know you can't just call them.
Yep.
They need to, advance notice.
Yes. Usually, we've used, I'm sorry, I keep saying usually. We've used them for our larger motorcycle runs, the 2 that we do each year. That's because it's usually over 2,000 people.
Okay. Then maybe this board, I don't know if we've done this before, but maybe this board should just notify the police department that the event is taking place, and maybe someone can just drive by, because I get concerned of the overcrowding. You're indoors, and the overcrowding with the alcohol. So if this board wants to just notify the police department event is taking place without detail, and so that they can just keep an eye on it. And I know the chief goes there when they have events.
Yeah.
So maybe just if he's aware that there is an event going on there.
Can we do that through Sean, through Lieutenant Randall? Okay, very good.
Okay, well, we can notify the chief. I think the chief usually attends all of them. if
He's
I'm not
actually one of our
mistaken.
HOG chapter members.
Right, I think so. So he'll make sure if it's, I just get concerned when you don't have a number for us.
Yes.
Just that there is detail there. But I have no problem with the license at all, other than to make sure that there's enough security and detail because of the alcohol.
Absolutely.
Commissioner, do you have any?
No, I mean, most, all the events they've had the last few years haven't been any issues to my knowledge. This one, doesn't appear to look like it needs a detail. I assume the dollar beer is one of the reasons why there's no detail.
Yeah.
It helps keep the cost down, so I don't really have any issues. She's done a great job running these, so other than notifying them, like Linda said, I'm okay with.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. We'll close that portion of the meeting. Are there any proponents? Hearing and seeing none, close that part of the meeting. Are there any opponents? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that part of the meeting. Do I have a motion to work with here?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
The motion to approve is carried for the application of a special one-day malt wine, common victular and entertainment license. The application for Black Marble Motorcycle is approved for a special one-day license for malt wine, common victular and entertainment to be exercised in the same location. The requested date and time is Thursday, February 22nd, 2018, from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. The event is a trivia night. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item number 3, Chaco Lafe, LLC, 2 Park Avenue, Angelica Cordona Ramirez, manager. This is an application for a change of hours for a common victuals license. The current hours are 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. I'm sorry, that's the requested change hours from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. The current hours are 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Is there anybody here on behalf of Chocolat Cafe? Seeing and hearing no one, we'll table this till the next meeting.
Well, I would table it till the end of the meeting and then maybe move forward.
Very good.
Running late, and if not, we'll have to hold it over till the next meeting.
Very good. Well, this will be tabled till the end of the meeting. Whoop, okay. Item number 4, A&I Hospitality, Inc., Kebab Hut, 163 Squire Road. Akhtar, Isjar Akhtar is the manager?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. This is an application for a transfer of a common victualer's license. The application of A&I Hospitality, Inc., DBA Kebab Hut, for a transfer of a common victualer's license from Heng Chang, Inc., said license to be exercised at 163 Squire Road. Requested hours of operation are Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. till 11 p.m., and Friday through Sunday from 11 a.m. until 12 a.m. Requested seating is 30.
The Sundays,
Excuse me, not to interrupt, but is this the same meeting we have violations on?
Yes,
So I think maybe we want to find out what's going on there.
yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. That's exactly what we're going to do.
Because this is a transfer of a license now. And I'm
The other guy?
kind of concerned about where the inspection has gone before I can hear this transfer.
Okay. Now, your parents are asking to transfer the license from Jing's Restaurant?
yes, sir.
Okay. Jing's Restaurant had a series of violations which prevented the license from being renewed.
Sure.
Before we can consider even acting on transferring the license, we have to receive assurances that those violations have been corrected.
Sure.
And so until we get assurances that they have been corrected, I think, we're not going to be able to act on this. What assurances can you give us that?
May I,
Sure.
not to interrupt again,
Fine.
because I happen to know this place well, and there are a lot of violations. Do you think maybe we could table this till the end again and hear the hearing of, take up item number, is it 4? I'm sorry. And maybe they can enlighten us. Oh, those are us.
Yeah, well,
Can we
is
take that out of line?
Mr. Wells here?
Yes, he's in the front row.
Mr. Wells, would you approach, please?
Excuse me, let's table that to the end and take up item
No,
number 4.
I want to hear from this gentleman right
But
now.
he's number 4.
That's okay. Have you had an opportunity to inspect this restaurant?
I have not been back there since after the closure of December 31st. This gentleman has purchased the establishment from the prior owner. He did come in with the common vicular transfer sheet for sign-off, and he has pulled a building permit to do some work on the building.
So do you have a sign-off? Have you signed off on the health problems? He's.
Well, the health problems have not been rectified on the previous owners, because he'd never reopened and has since sold the business. So this gentleman purchased the business as is.
Right. But for him to apply for common victual license, they need a sign-off from the fire, the Board of Health.
Correct, which I have signed off on it for him to get his building permit to start construction in that unit.
So you have inspected it then, if you signed off on it? Oh,
Well, preliminary,
okay. So it's a preliminary.
preliminary, yes.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Yeah, so I'm confused. What is the current situation from your perspective regarding the license at Jing's Restaurant?
Well,
Are they
we pulled his licenses on January 2nd, I would say, from him to no longer operate.
Okay. Now-
Since
Yes, go ahead.
January 2nd, he has sold the business to this gentleman here.
All right, well, let's stop right there. From the time that you have decided that this place is in violation,
Yes.
have you seen any evidence or seen corrective measures which would lead you to think that the place is no longer in violation and this license should be transferred?
Well, the place is still, it's basically, it's now a construction zone. So building has granted him a permit to go in there and do some renovations and bring the place up to code for him to open his business very shortly. So,
Just as the way this board operates is, we have to have that from them, that he is up to code before we vote on a license unless it's
Yes,
continued.
no, I would, that's what I,
well, no, the business is not up to code.
Well, then, until every department signs off inspectional services, we usually don't vote on it, because we don't know what's...
But he has been signed off on a preliminary, he hasn't gotten a final.
Right,
He hasn't gotten a final, it's all preliminary.
but he is doing renovations, though.
Yes.
He hasn't finished.
No.
do you have any questions, John?
Well, what it looks like to me is that, you know, he bought as is, like almost like a foreclosed home, didn't know what it would look like inside.
Right.
He's in the process
What is
of
this?
cleaning things up. He's not gonna operate until he gets all the inspectional services
Exactly.
signed off. So he's coming here to say, you know, once that's signed off, am I good to go?
Right.
From our perspective. So I put the cart before the horse a little bit, but I guess he's not gonna open up anyway, whether we give him a common victual license or not, correct? He can't
Well-
open unless he gets inspectional services final
Right.
sign off. So maybe it makes sense for him to come back after he gets all those sign offs.
I think it might be easier if he was applying for a new license rather than trying to rehabilitate this old one, because before we can transfer the old license, I'd want assurances that the license is up to the health code of the city of Revere. And so if that's not the case, then I don't see any way how that license can be transferred. If he wanted to come in and apply for a new application, that's totally up to him. But unless, I'm missing something, that would be what my feeling would be.
I think that's the route to go, because the license was pulled. There is no license.
There is,
Right,
you're right,
exactly.
there is no
So I
license.
think it should be totally new, and you're on your own. To rehash what happened with the last owners, it's probably not fair to you. But we do need the sign-offs.
Sure, step up, sir. And I'm sorry that you're caught in the middle here, but, we have an obligation to
No, it's
protect the
okay.
people here.
Totally fine. So far, I have, after the sign off, that's the only way we started. It's only started done like a week ago. So I hired the licensed plumber, which we pulled the permit, the general building permit, electrical, and the A1 installation with the hood. They're updating the system. So they give the drawings and everything to the fire department. So everything we are upgrading, from plumbing to the electrical. They're adding the CO2 sensors, the panel, so attached to the fire department, which was not there before. So I think we're running the test tomorrow. So that's why I have to call the company today. So once the stuff is done, then definitely I will come back for sign off. But right now in the process, because I have a hearing, I'm not familiar with this too much, so they sent me a letter to be here today, so I'm here.
But I think that's the best route you're taking. As the chairperson said, it's better to apply for a new one, and then the fire department will sign off, the inspectional services, and you have a clean license.
It's fine, whatever it is.
So I think that's the best way to go. How much longer is it going to take you to be ready to open? What time frame are you looking at?
I mean, I want it to be next 2 to 3 weeks, but it can take a little longer. But I want like 2 weeks, because I have some equipment ordered from New York, which is coming on Monday. So most of the equipment is, like the 1 week cook is different than what's existing, so they've already been pulled out.
You're going to have a different menu?
Yeah, it's going to be like a Pakistani Indian food, those naans, kebabs, and stuff like that. It's different menu. And before it was like, because that restaurant was built like long time ago, and it was an old codes apply on them, but now everything will be on the flex pipes, and it's easy to clean, and it'll be much easier to keep it up with it. But before it was because it was an old construction, so there's so much you can do with that.
So you're talking 3-4 weeks before you can open.
I would say 2 weeks, but I'm just saying that I've been paying rent for last 3 months, so I just want that when I am ready to open, I don't get stuck with it, like for a hearing in a month time, so it's going to be a little tough. But yeah, until every single person don't sign me off, don't open me. But if I've done my job on my part, then I just want to be,
I think at this point, your best bet would be to try and come back next meeting, work with Mr. Wells in the interim, and get that place at a point where he can come in here and say, I've expected it, it's fine, and the license can be transferred, or you can come in, during the week and apply for a new license, and we would, take that under consideration and vote for it at the next meeting so that you don't have to be delayed any further. I understand the nice weather's coming and you want to open. And,
Yeah.
by all means, we want to work with businesses, but by the same token, we need to be able to be assured that the regulations of the city are being
yeah,
followed.
my only question is, let's say if I am ready in 2 weeks, I will be able to come up again and see you guys, or not until whole month?
Well, we don't have a meeting till...
It'll be the third Wednesday in March,
Okay.
all
That's
right?
really a short time, it's not a full 4 weeks.
So-
We have a short month.
Well, today's 20th, so I'm adding this week to it.
So you could plan your grand opening for sometime after the third Thursday in March.
Okay.
And at that point, perhaps if it was something that was voted upon, favorably, you could open. But until then, I'm going to be voting not to approve this transfer.
I'm just adding, I didn't even pull one screw until I get the permits. I didn't even touch anything. I'm just going by the book.
That's
just-
good.
yeah.
The fire department's really concerning,
Yeah,
We
so-
like to make sure that it's
So,
working and...
yeah, so just like, it's a $8,000 of the hood upgrade, So A1 installation is doing that, and they're going to call, and same thing, paying almost $11,000 between the electrician and the gas plumber. So they are working, and I just want to make sure that they're the one who's going to call inspectors from here, and they're going to be inspecting it. So just trying to do by the book, whatever it is.
I have no problem with the business, it's just
Sure.
that we do need to make sure that all inspectional services agree with us.
Yeah, by all respects, I understand, it's just I just don't want to be into another month. That's
Okay.
my little concern, that's all.
So I think,
Well, I'm going to put a motion that this transfer not be approved. Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second the motion.
The motion to transfer the license from H.A.N.I. Hospitality, Inc., DBA Kebab Hut, for a transfer of the common victuals license from Heng Chang, said license to be exercised at 163 Squire Road, has been denied. Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Item number 5,
So I think that at this, excuse me again.
certainly.
At this point, are we done with inspectional services? Are you satisfied with that hearing?
We have Mr.,
Well, the license is gone from there now. I thought we pulled it. Okay.
So make sure, so when he comes back, make sure that he knows whether she applied for a new one or a transfer, because is there a
Well, the
difference?
transfer, they took the transfer. There's no license. They took it away in December. So I
he
don't
couldn't
know
do a
why it was a
transfer. So he couldn't
transfer,
do a
no.
transfer.
well, it had to be reinstated first. Item number 5, GA Restaurant, Inc. This is a DBA Santorini Restaurant. This is an application for transfer of a malt wine restaurant license. Application of GA Restaurant, Inc., DBA Santorini Restaurant, for a malt wine restaurant license from Axon, Inc., said license to be exercised at 376 Revere Beach Boulevard. Requested hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. through 12 a.m., Sunday, 11 a.m. through 12 a.m. Requested seating is 48. Your name and address for the record, please.
Stavroula Fotopoulos, 376 Riviera Beach Boulevard.
Okay, and can you explain briefly what the application is about? Bless you. Thank you.
But the license.
My name is Craig Halagian. I'm the building owner and a very good friend of Stavroula's.
Can you speak up, please, sir? I'm sorry,
Sure.
into the microphone.
It's Craig Halagian. I'm the building owner and a very good friend of Stavroula's, Sylvia's. It's for, Mr. Chairman, it's for a license transfer of an existing restaurant. And Sylvia is the original owner of Santorini. Some of you may remember her
Yes.
from a few years ago. And she sold it then, but she tried to buy it back 3 times from these gentlemen, but they would never agree with her. And so finally, she waited for the lease to end, and she's back now to open up her special
So it's
place of
being
business.
transferred from who?
Axon Inc.
And are they here?
No, Axon, the owner of Axon was ill. He had to, he was,
I've received stuff from the attorney and is comfortable with it.
Okay. You know, I always like them to be present, but I understand he's
he's out of the country, yeah.
So that's a little different, okay.
Now, I noticed there was a typo or a mistake made by us. The actual number of seats that we're asking for is a transfer of the existing 64-seat capacity. I noticed we have that correct on one page, but on another page, we wrote it down wrong.
When
So-
you say 64...
Yes.
Are you including outdoor seating, or is that just indoor seating?
That's all the indoor seating.
That's
That's the
all indoor.
capacity for 64, yeah.
So, do we need the special outdoor seating license? Santorini?
Well, typically, she removes some of the seats from inside when she goes outside, so she always stays at the 64 or
Well,
less.
that's 2 different licenses, though. Outdoor seating, you apply for different license,
Okay, so,
okay? And a certain time of year. Your indoor seating is 64.
Right.
I come there, you have a very nice restaurant, so I
Thank
do
you.
know. And they are sitting outside eating.
in the summer,
But I
yeah.
don't see where you have a license for outdoor seating. Like, no.
Well, we can apply for
I think you have to
that.
apply for a license, because that goes by any Riviera Beach, they have special outdoor seating. And also, I think there's a time of some hours on that, and I don't see where he has a license for that.
We could do that right away. We're not ready for
Which,
it
of
now.
course, you've had it for many years, seating
Right.
inside, and that's gone well, which is good, but I don't think you've ever had a license for it.
Wasn't aware that we needed something
This is-
special.
So, okay, so we're talking 64 inside seating, and that's the same as it
Well,
was?
when I say 64, that's total inside, outside.
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
Yes.
That's very different. I want to know what the fire department says your occupancy is for indoors. Do we have that? Well, the 64 can't work for me, because we have to go by the occupancy by the fire department, and I don't think the fire department gave you 64 seating indoors.
Okay, so,
It goes by footage, obviously.
okay.
However they do it. I'm not that familiar with it, but I think you're including all of your seating.
We are.
Shouldn't be.
All right.
Okay, so I'm a little confused on this one also.
64 seats signed up by the building inspector.
Yeah, but he clumped it all together. We have to have this patio. No, I purposely. Yeah, so I'm a little, how many seats do you have outside? You have different seating on different days.
Yes.
Sometimes on breakfast, you have different seating. I think we need an occupancy from, and you do have it as Commissioner explained, but they put it all together. We have other places on the beach, they have 2 separate licenses. You sit outside, it's 10 tables, different hours also. They have to pull them in at 10 o'clock. Yours have been out there till closing, so I don't know how you would break this down. I obviously don't, I'm not looking to hold this license up, but I would like to know what your occupancy permit would be with the fire department just on the inside.
Do you have any questions, Commissioner?
So we could, if you want, we could leave it at 48, and then if there's a additional outside license you'd like her to apply for, we can certainly do
You would have
that.
to apply for that. I think that's what your original license was 48 though, at one time.
I'm not sure, to be
I
honest
think
with
it
you.
was 48, it was never 64.
But if the proper thing to do is apply for the outside, for the additional seating, we can certainly do that.
Well, I'd like to hear from my commissioners. I don't have a problem, but I don't think 64 is,
So, all right, so right, it's going to be, what are the hours, 9 a.m. to 12 a.m., okay, so basically it's going to run the similar type of restaurant it was.
Exactly the same.
All the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've never really had a capacity problem, correct?
No, it's
I've
very,
gone
it's
there.
big with this front door, back door. It's a large place.
Yes, yeah, so, because I think right now, 48, adding outdoor seating in the next meeting apply, would be the best way to go. If
Sure.
we don't have that right now. 48 would be good, no, Linda?
Well, I think that's what it originally was. My concern is now you don't have a license for outdoor seating, and you probably shouldn't be using outdoor seating, although I know you have a breakfast on Sundays.
February.
But, yeah, they're
So
out
we
there.
could,
Today.
Go for coffee. Oh, no.
Really?
Yep, he has a very nice breakfast club that goes there.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't have a problem with the 64. I see that the fire inspector has signed off on
Always
that.
been there, right.
I see that the building inspector has signed off on that.
yeah.
But my issue would be outdoor seating after 10 o'clock. I
Okay.
think that most of the other places on the beach, as a matter of fact, all of the other places on the beach, is there, no?
Oh, did we? We went to
Very
11?
good.
Okay.
So the latest that people are open is 11 o'clock.
On the outside.
Renzo's has an 11 o'clock license.
So we can certainly conform to that.
I would be voting in favor of a motion that would be for an 11 o'clock as opposed to a midnight outdoor seating. Is that,
But, yeah.
That's
But
fine.
Commissioner, I think that it has to be advertised if you're going for outdoor seating. That is an altogether different license. Outdoor seating, indoor seating, that you have to have 2 separate licenses.
We
It
never
only
knew that.
runs from May to September. So I say it has to be advertised. It's a new license. So I'm just
very
information
good.
from our...
Can I get some clarification? What, okay, and from your understanding, is the license for outside required?
Yes, oh yes.
Okay.
And it has to be advertised. It, absolutely.
All right, well, that's pretty much where we're at. I don't know how you want to proceed from here. I don't think that if we brought this to a vote right now, you'd vote for transfer, but I can certainly make a motion to see if that is the case.
I don't think that's a problem. I think that the fella has agreed to 48 seats inside.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with 48 seats inside. I do have a problem with clumping them both together, where every other establishment has to separately apply. But, I mean, I'm not for holding up your license, sir, I'm just for doing what everybody
Right,
else
and
has to
if
do.
there's an additional outside license you'd like her to get for the seats, we can
Well,
certainly
she's
do
gonna
that.
have to apply for an additional seating,
Of course.
outdoor seating.
Right.
And obviously, there's different hours, outdoor seating, because of, you know, the residents in the area. And it does have to be advertised. Obviously, I have to be honest with you, that's probably the most opposition we get every time we try to give outdoor seating. I don't see a problem with it, it is
I
Revere
don't
Beach,
think we'll
but...
have a problem there.
Uh,
We get bars on both
But
sides
I
of us.
think you have to apply for that separately.
We
And
can
I
do
think
that.
48 seats, unless there's a change by the fire department, or you want to try to up it, if again they go more with the occupancy, I have no problem with the transfer. I do have a problem with the outdoor seating.
Okay.
Okay, and I don't think the 64, I don't think in your building you can put 64 seating inside. That's
Do-
just me. I don't work for the fire department.
We'll follow whatever the fire department says they'd like
So-
us to do.
I don't have a problem with voting for 48 seats,
Now,
Commissioner.
would,
I agree with you.
But I do say that if everyone has to apply separately for additional outdoor seating and different hours than the business, I think we have
I
to go
think they
that
understand
route.
that. I think they understand.
Right.
Very
But
good.
I don't see it holding it up.
Okay, do you have anything else to add, sir? Ma'am?
No, thank you.
Very good, we'll close that portion of the meeting. Are there any proponents out there? Yes, sir. Counselor?
Yeah, good afternoon. My name
Good
is John
afternoon, Counselor.
Powers. I reside at 46 Neponset Street, the city. I'm here in support of this for a couple of reasons. First of all, I remember the property, what it was like 20 years ago. It was an old rundown shack. These people purchased that property and turned it into a valuable piece of property, which also brought us a little more tax revenue, being it taxed as commercial property. I have known these people for some 20 years as proprietors down there. They've never once had a problem down there that I can recall. I know there's a question with regard to the seating. I believe it was 48 originally, and then the outside was added to it. I have no problem with that. I know that a lot of the residents that live in the St. George and the Jack Satter House and those buildings down there, when it was open as a restaurant, frequented that establishment on a daily basis and enjoyed it very much. So again, I would be in support of this. I know that they'll do a great job down there. I think one thing they really wanted to do was open at 7 in the morning so that they could serve breakfast down there. And I would also support that, and I think it would be an asset to the community down in that area. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Counselor. Are there any other proponents out there? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that section of the meeting. Are there any opponents out there? Hearing and seeing none, we will close that portion of the meeting. Is there a motion to approve this?
I'm going to make a motion to approve 48 seating, and certainly welcome to come up and apply for outdoor seating for the
We will.
summer. And it's a
We've
great
always had
place. I go there, I know you've always had it, but we haven't had it on record.
We didn't know there was a distinction, to be honest with you. We would have taken care of it.
Yeah. Well, that's okay, you can apply for it, but I have no
Okay.
problem. It's a wonderful restaurant, and it is an asset to Revere Beach. Those are the type of establishments we want to see.
Thank you.
And I don't think you're open till 9. I go by, you close very early, so I don't know. I do know the Council Powers mentioned 7 o'clock, but I don't see 7 o'clock here. I still see 9.
I'll second that motion.
The motion is approved. The application for Santorini Restaurant, Savrula Fotopoulos, for transfer of a malt wine restaurant license from Axon Inc., said license to be exercised at 376 Revere Beach Boulevard. Requested hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 12 a.m., Sunday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Requested seating is 48. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Item number 6, A Beer Group, Inc., DBA Aladdin's Grill, 148 Squire Road, Julian Ganjoli, manager. This is an application for a malt wine restaurant license. The application of A Beer Group, Inc., DBA Aladdin's Grill, Julian Ganjoli, manager, for a malt wine restaurant license to be exercised at 148 Squire Road. The hours of operation and seating to remain as currently licensed. Saturday through Sunday, 7 a.m. through 11 p.m., with seating for 32. Can you name and address for the record, please, gentlemen?
Julie Ganjoli, 86 Bay Road, Riviera.
Good afternoon. I'm Attorney Travis Jacobs. I represent the applicant.
Counselor, can you explain what your client would like to do here?
Yes, thank you. So this is a license for an application for a beer and wine license. The premises is an intimate venue that's been open for about a year now. Has only 32 seats. It's primarily a restaurant with Mediterranean cuisine. The beer and wine license is intended to complement the cuisine. The license applicant, A Beer Group, Inc., doing business as Aladdin's Grill, had a grand opening last year that was attended by the mayor, the Chamber of Commerce, local police department, and local community members. The grill itself is owned by a husband and wife team. Mr. Ganjoli and his wife own and operate the premises. They have had no prior violations of any of their existing licenses. Mr. Ganjoli is the proposed manager on this application for beer and wine license. He has no criminal history. He's been a member of the Revere community for over 15 years. He has some experience in this industry as a bartender. He worked as a bartender at the National Amusement Showcase Theater in Revere for 7 years. So he's familiar with the laws and regulations regarding service of beer and wine. This particular license is not seeking any change of hours, no change of seating, and we do believe it'll be a good addition. Consumers are demanding this kind of additional service.
Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
Of course I do. I know you've done a wonderful job. Again, it's a great business. Certainly, you put a lot of money into it. But you're going for beer and wine license. Is there any other direction you're going in as far as just wanting to stay a restaurant and beer and wine?
No, beer and wine. There's
You
no
mean-
directions.
You mean, are they seeking to get a liquor license eventually?
No. Any changing?
Oh, no.
Any
No.
changes of the premises, or you haven't made application or looked for anything?
No, there's definitely no intention to turn it into a nightclub.
No, I'm not talking a nightclub, I'm talking anything. Yeah, certainly a nightclub, obviously, we wouldn't want to see that. I mean, you have no intentions of anything other than the business you have now?
No, as a business as we have a lot of people who's turning
Yeah,
down
do
back
that.
on
So-
us
so-
because they come and they asking if we serve beer and wine.
So we wouldn't expect in 6 months any changes?
No, I think what he says, there's no change as far as the beer and wine. They're going to stay with beer and wine. There's no liquor. There's no nightclub planned. But there is an intent in the future to potentially put a second floor on the building and expand. That's kind of a grand possibility, but I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, because that's my concern. I've heard that, you know, we're going up now, when that was built, as you know, it was a very, very small building. And there was a question whether we even wanted to go ahead and give a license there. It was a little grocery store.
Right.
And this fella come in, he built it, and that's how it was gonna be. Well, now, of course, we're getting different, I am anyways, from the neighbors, that we are intending, so they were right, to maybe move up and do something else upstairs. So I guess that's always my concern. People come up for beer and wine. I think it's great. I like to go out and have a glass of wine when I eat. But I do get concerned when I hear we're already looking at future plans for that parcel.
Well, I honestly don't think that the future plans should impact the beer and wine license. If they
Well,
did
what if you
ever,
were gonna tell me you're putting upstairs and it's gonna be a nightclub? It would impact my vote, to be
well,
honest.
but you would be able to reject the license for they'd have to reapply for the beer and wine license. Any change in premises like that requires a new application.
Wouldn't have to change. He has a beer and wine on the premises.
But you would have to reapply for a new license if you added a floor like that or changed the footprint.
Well, I don't think so. We've had that in the area, that one business actually was serving to the next business.
Well,
But I
that's
won't go there.
illegal.
I'm more concerned about
Can't do that.
if we are moving forward and this is going to become a bigger building with different ideas. If he's saying no, I'll take his word for it.
Well, I don't think that we want to be falsely representing to the committee that the licensee doesn't have, future plans. But that shouldn't, what a business owner wants to do in the future with a property or a business shouldn't impact the current, eligibility for the license. Because, I assume that you might be able to check with the woman here whether I'm correct, but if he changed the footprint or added a new floor, he would absolutely have to come back before you and get approval for a new beer and wine
Well,
license.
sir, first of all, I don't need to ask other people. I've been on the board for 24 years, okay? So I've seen a lot. I've seen what's happened, so I can come to my own conclusions, okay? Sometimes we can read something from a book, and you can take it either way, okay? So I do have a concern, from what I've heard. I've had a concern. So that's all I'm asking. So in the future, you are thinking of maybe going up. And that's all. I just needed my question asked, and I'll hear from my colleagues.
Do you have any
Well,
questions,
so
Commissioner?
It's the restaurant next to the bank, correct? East Boston State, on Squire Road, where is it physically?
Right. That's the place,
So you have a large parking lot, and you have expansion capabilities. So I guess, on the face, applying for the liquor license, Linda makes good points about future build, but I don't, you would have to come back and get approved for that additional premise or whatever operation, entertainment operation. So we wouldn't necessarily have to approve that if we're not happy, but from this perspective, I don't have any issues with the malt and wine, so depending on how my colleagues go, as long as he's tip certified and has experience in serving, and it's definitely not gonna turn into a pouring bar, is my guess. And I don't think it's a hangout joint, from my understanding, unless my colleagues know differently. I don't know, what do you think, Bob?
Well, my question would be, and I kind of understand where my fellow commissioner, Madam Commissioner, is coming from. We want to ensure that we're not opening the door for a place to come in and have a license and build something that is not really what we're voting on here. And so I guess what I'm looking for is some assurances that what we have here is what we are going to have, which is a nice place that serves food and wants to serve beer and wine, and that we're not going into this
That's how it's going to happen.
entertainment nightclub business where we're going to be trying to jam as many people in there and serve as many drinks as we can. That's not what we're looking for.
Sure, and I can tell you there is no intention for that. None. We've never even discussed it. It's never been on the table. It's never been an option.
So I think what we got here is, we don't know the future. Yeah, we can keep an eye open, so we're gonna vote on the beer and wine. That's how I'm looking at this. And if these, no violations, good business owner, expansion is expansion, we vote on that later. So, that's where I stand, so.
Very good. Well, I'm going to close this portion of the meeting. Are there any proponents out there? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that portion. Are there any opponents out there? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that portion. I will make a motion to approve the transfer or approve the application for a malt wine restaurant license. Is there a second for that? I'm sorry? Go ahead.
So I'm going to second the motion to approve the license. I think it's needed for restaurants these days. However, keep in mind that, this was brought to, especially my attention, about expansion in certain types. So hopefully, I understand this expansion is good for the right reasons. Hopefully it doesn't, come back with something that doesn't really fit well for that area. So again, just kind of want to keep that up in the air, because I don't know the future. We don't know if anything will expand beyond that. At least I don't know. So I will approve it, but just want to keep in mind that we are aware, in the future, if something comes beyond that premise, that's going to be beyond just the restaurant. So that's it.
Very good. The application.
I would like to be, excuse me.
So, I'm sorry.
Did we call a vote?
Yes, I
Okay.
put a motion, he seconded.
I want to be recorded as being present.
Very good. The application for a malt wine restaurant license of Abir Group, Inc., DBA Aladdin's Grill, Julian Genjoli, manager, for a malt wine restaurant license to be exercised at 148 Squire Road. The hours of operation and seating to remain as currently licensed, Sunday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., with seating for 32. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Item number 7. This is Primo's Partners, LLC, DBA Fajitas Sports Bar and Restaurant, 46 Revere Street. Nicholas Portillo, manager. This is an application to add cordials, liquors, change hours, and amend entertainment. The application of Primo's Partners, LLC, DBA Fajitas Sports Bar and Restaurant, 46 Revere Street, to make the following changes. Number 1, to add cordials, liquors to their malt wine license. Number 2, to change the hours to Saturday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. And number 3, to amend the entertainment license to add karaoke. Speaking on behalf of the
Yes,
applicant,
yes.
name and address, please, sir.
Thank you, board members. My name is Corey Rhodes. I'm an attorney with D'Ambrosio Brown LLP, 14 Proctor Avenue, Revere. I represent the applicants, Primo's Partners, doing business as Fajitas Sports Bar and Restaurant at 46 Revere Street. As was pretty clearly laid out, our request, this is coming from about a year and a half ago when these gentlemen, Nicholas Portillo, the manager on this license, came before the board in August of 2016 and was approved to transfer the beer and wine license, and he took operation of the business at that time. really been no issues with the property, haven't been in front of this board or had issues with the police. At that time, they had tried to update their entertainment license to get karaoke and things like that, and the board has suggested kind of a trial period to see how the business goes. So at this point, we did want to come back before you, ask that we move from a beer and wine license to a cordials, something that has been requested by the patrons of the restaurant. Also did want to amend the entertainment to include karaoke on a few nights, and move the hours to 1 a.m. As well. Again, really kind of upstanding business owners. They've really tried hard to keep this business going and vibrant, not have issues with neighbors or the police, not get into trouble before this board, and wanted to come in front of you and see if they could add some of these things to their license that their patrons were requesting. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Very good. Thank you very much, Counselor. Do any of my fellow commissioners have some questions?
Well, again, Counselor, it seems like I'm the only one here that's causing a problem this afternoon, but again, this is a perfect example of what I was just talking about. When that business first opened, okay, first of all, it was a catering business.
That's before my time, I think.
Right, it was before your time. It was a catering business. Then the new people come in and they said, we just want to do a breakfast. It was a breakfast place. Then they come in, they wanted to do lunch. Okay, we did lunch. Then we want to stay open till 7 o'clock. It's highly residential, highly residential. We gave them 7 o'clock, then they wanted beer and wine, then they wanted entertainment. Now they want karaoke. This is what happens when, you know, you have a small business, and again, and I'm going to be honest with you, I heard they're trying to build up another floor at this business here.
I don't think so. They don't own the building.
No,
It's
well,
residential
then the owner,
above
I'm
them.
sorry. So it would be the owner. And this is what happens, and then it builds and builds, and this is a tightly knit neighborhood. And before you know it, you turn around and you're looking at a 1 o'clock license with karaoke, with beer, wine, cordials. And I've gone to the business now, maybe 2 years ago. Highly residential, as I said. Across the street, there's an apartment house, there's a single family, and well, there's families all the way down there. When they got this license again, please do not put neon signs in the windows. Don't put all these lights in the windows. People live across the street. We're not going to do that. Okay, they just wanted to have a little restaurant there. Now, not only do we have all kinds of beer licenses and their neon signs, they've now strung big lights all around the building. So if you go by there, 11, 12 o'clock, the whole place is lit up. These people live across the street. They're staring at this. It's like the Griswolds Christmas when they put their Christmas lights on. It's unfair to the neighbors. And I was one that, again, as I just did with the last applicant, it starts small, they want to add everything. That business is so small that to put karaoke in there, I'll tell you, I'm down a half a mile, I'll probably hear it. And there were violations. There were beer bottles out in the driveway the neighbors did complain about, and we had them up here. They did come up.
Was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
They only bought a year and a half ago.
It
so
was,
they-
right.
Yeah, I think
the
it was the
previous
prior
owners.
owners.
But I think they worked there at the time. They were working for them. You just,
Yeah,
you bought it, or I thought you were a renter?
No, they own the business, but they rent from the landlord.
Oh,
So
okay.
they have their business in there.
Um,
And I think
but-
that was something I had told them when they were buying the business, that the last guys had some trouble. You can't be
Yes.
like that. And I think some piece of that I don't believe any neighbors have come out tonight to kind of object to this request. I think they have really tried to work hard to be better to the neighbors than the prior owners
And you
have
know,
been.
absolutely, I'm sure they're running a great business, but again, I have to be concerned with the neighbors in the area, and no matter what you do, you want to stay open till 1 o'clock, you want alcohol, there's going to be noise. It is going to be destructive to the neighbors. And I have to say, the lights are, I'm shocked. I went by there. You must have just strung those maybe a couple of weeks ago. Big bulbs all around the whole awning, and, lights in the windows, and it's a very small place. I don't know how it doesn't bother the patrons, to tell you the truth.
Can we get the owner up here?
Sure, sure. The English is not the best. I can try to help. But maybe if I can help assist.
And see, what's his game plan, what's his justification? Because just looking at the, the building, and you have apartments upstairs. Do you live upstairs?
No, the owner lives upstairs.
Okay.
So we can
it's a
take
very
care of the lights
residential
if
area,
you-
very
this is a problem.
residential. So I'm trying to understand how you think there wouldn't be disruption or issues at 1 o'clock if there's not just noise itself in a tightly dense area. I want to understand from your point, how would you try to justify us approving this?
So many people get out like at 10 o'clock, work, and they want to go have a dinner, and they, in the weekends. So we plan to have it to 1 o'clock.
I think a lot of it is being driven by their patrons and what they're asking them, saying, well, we already have to leave. We just got here. I just got off from Logan or something like that. Trying to fit the needs, and you did identify it. It is a small place. They want to keep it open and active, and they're trying to make the business work in the best way possible.
Well, and that's another thing that you brought up. They're coming there at 10 o'clock. Again, there's the traffic. Your parking lot abuts 4 houses. So when you go in your driveway, there's houses lined up all
We
around.
have a parking behind, but
Right,
yeah.
and it abuts houses. Those are houses right on, I believe it's Folsom Street, no, it isn't. But the traffic coming and going, you're talking 1 o'clock in the morning. These are homes, these are single families. And the traffic in and out, we've had problems with that parking lot. And I just, as far as your business, I have no complaints with it.
Thank you.
Obviously, they did well. But I do have a problem constantly expanding. When people come in and it's a catering business, it's now karaoke. I'm going to tell you, it's a small nightclub. To make
Actually,
people
I'm
out
sorry.
with
All the neighborhood, they come
instruments.
to say thank you because we are doing better than like they do like 2 years ago.
This
3
is
years ago, it was a nightmare for the neighbors, and I don't want to bring it back to that.
Mm.
But if you say that the neighbors
They
are
happy with us.
happy,
They happy with us.
they're not happy with your lighting, because I've gotten several calls.
I think they're happy to take that out. I think
We
it
can
was
take it out.
yeah.
I can tell you.
That's not a big deal. We do whatever you guys
Because
say. and-
I'm there every day, I'm not got no complaint for them. Actually, the people from front, they go to say, thank you guys, because you guys, everything is quiet right now. There's no more trouble. Before it was fight, a lot of things happened 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
I do my best, I'm there every day.
I'm glad that they left, and it was a big problem. And
Not
that's what
anymore.
I'm trying to protect it, not.
We tried the
to do that
best.
again.
I do try my best.
And, they'd be happy to condition. They'll take the lights down. I think that was a bad
That's not
idea
a
on their
big deal.
part, just in the last few weeks here. And they hear those concerns.
Do you have any questions, Commissioner?
So right now, the license is till what, 11?
It's till 12.
Now it's 12, we want to increase to 1. So you're adding, let's see, outside of the neon lights, you want to add cordials and liquors to...
And it's
their existing malt
it's not an
wine.
all alcohol, not looking to do vodka or rum or hard
Change it
alcohols,
up.
just more kind of the flavored liqueurs, something after dinner, something before dinner.
What's the current entertainment license include?
TVs and radio, just, music and televisions.
You want that karaoke all the time, or is this a limited?
I think they'd be happy to just do a few
I mean, I
days.
come here for my customers. They ask me. I don't come
Where are
here.
they?
Huh?
Where are they?
All the customers, they come, they say, where you got
Yeah,
karaoke,
but
where
you
you got
said your
entertainment?
customers come from the airport.
I just use it as an example. Not-
I just,
It's always good to have support around here.
All right, are there any other questions? I'll close that section of the meeting. Are there any proponents out there? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that section of the meeting. Are there any opponents out there? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that. Does anyone have a motion to make?
My motion would be to stay at 12 o'clock. I have no problem with the cordial license for 12 o'clock. And certainly help us out with the lights. I can't tell you, you have to take them
I
out.
promise.
but I have to be honest with you. You would do me a favor and help the neighbors out with that. I mean, they open their blinds at 1.
Thank you.
What do you want to do about karaoke?
Yeah,
Now, the karaoke, what are the hours? I'm sorry, what are the hours on karaoke?
Yeah, I don't think we're proposing a certain
So we
time.
can go karaoke up until
If,
1 o'clock.
No, I'm not going to the 1 o'clock. I'm saying-
would karaoke till 11?
I'm making a motion 12 o'clock karaoke. If they were to have karaoke, would have to be 11 o'clock, and I would be okay with the
Okay.
liquor license.
Yeah, that'd be fine with them.
That's my
I
motion.
appreciate the consideration.
Okay, so there is a,
so right now, there's no karaoke at all?
Correct.
no.
Okay, so 11 o'clock. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see how it works out. I mean, I'm totally not against entertainment, that's for sure.
Well, you can amend that license for a 3-month trial.
I'd like to do that. I'd like to amend her proposal to a 3-month trial if it's clean. I understand there might be one, we'll take it for what it's worth, but I think it's just such a, even 11 o'clock could be it's not late, but it's not early.
Sure.
This is Friday, Saturday night.
Sure.
I think we kind of try it and buy it type of thing for 3 months, see how it works out. And then, if we don't hear anything, I don't think they have to come back, but if we do, we could pull it.
Sure.
I don't think we need them to come back. Just put you guys on warning that if there are complaints, we will ask you to come back.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so here's what there's a motion before the commission for a 3-month trial on the cordials and the karaoke. And that motion would allow the karaoke until 11 p.m.
Was
Okay.
not to interrupt.
And we would be okay with cordials until midnight.
Was the cordials on a 3-month trial, or was just the karaoke?
No, just the
karaoke, I
noise,
thought. Okay.
The karaoke would be the thing that we're really
yeah.
interested in, because we want to make sure that the neighbors aren't impacted by this.
That's,
Didn't say.
It would be Sunday through Saturday, 7 a.m. through 11 p.m.
So it's all week.
I don't think we realized to propose a certain time. I think in reality, they would probably expect the customers to be Fridays and Saturdays wanting to do karaoke. Yeah. Tuesday.
Yeah, I think whether they do it every night or they do it Friday, Saturday, if it's a problem, whether it's on a Tuesday or a Saturday, it's a problem. So I don't care
That
what
makes
days you
sense.
do it. Just, we'll see. The proof will be in the pudding type of thing.
Okay,
All right?
that makes sense.
Are we okay with this?
We're okay with that. We're staying at 12 and lights are coming down.
All right, so the application to add cordials and liquors, change the hours and amend entertainment of Primos Partners LLC DBA Fajita Sports Bar and Restaurant, 46 Revere Street, to make the following changes. Add cordials and liquors to their malt wine license until 12 p.m. To change the hours to Sunday through Saturday, 7 a.m. through, we have 1 a.m. on this.
Right, where's it 12?
We are
Yeah,
going to
we're
go
in
with 12
agreement.
p.m.
We're in agreement to keep it at 12.
Okay, so we're in agreement that the hours are going to be changed from Sunday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 12 a.m., correct? Okay. And to amend the entertainment license to add karaoke, and the karaoke must be discontinued by 11 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we in agreement with that?
Yes.
The license is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good luck, guys.
The item number 8, Heng Chang Inc., DBA Jing's Garden, 163 Squire Road. Willie Lee, manager. This is a hearing concerning the health code violations and operating the business in direct violation of a health department order of closure.
That has been
He
clarified.
he left? Very good. Item number 9, MFRP Corp., DBA The Squire, 604 Squire Road, Peter DePisa, manager. This is a hearing into possible violations of law regulations stemming from an assault and a robbery, and this is a continuation from the January meeting. Name and address for the record, please.
Peter DePisa, 5 Kilmarnock Street, Wilmington, Mass.
Very good. Mr. DePisa, you had another incident from the time you were here last?
I don't recall.
Involving bottles?
I wasn't working that shift, but I believe a girl threw a bottle across the bar when we asked her to leave.
Very good. All right. When you were here last, we asked you about the possibility of doing away with bottles and going to plastic cups, or coming up with some alternative service methods to eliminate the possibility of patrons being struck by glass bottles. What have you come up with in the last month that we can discuss?
Well, we're trying to, do an upscale environment, and a plastic cup is not going to go away with our business plan. People are not going to spend $14 to drink out of a plastic cup. So I believe it was an isolated incident, and I don't have an answer for the solution when we're trying to provide better service for people and try to get a better clientele.
Well, it seems to me that you have an obligation to protect your patrons from getting whacked in the head with bottles.
100%.
And you also have an obligation to ensure that patrons aren't being overserved. And from what I can see from the police reports, that's not necessarily taking place there. And so what I'm trying to do is come to an understanding of how we can proceed, protect the patrons, allow you to conduct your business, and go forward.
I didn't believe we were aware of an issue of people being overserved. We're all tip certified. We do shut people off. We do give people bottles of water. We do provide, security to the place, police details. So unless you know something that I don't about being overserved, I'm not aware of that.
Well, in looking at the police report, it indicates that the woman who threw the bottle was intoxicated. She was denied service.
I haven't seen the police report. I believe the girl tried to order a drink. We refused her to drink. She grabbed a bottle that was on the bar and threw it as she left, and the police escorted her out. She flipped out, and the cops arrested her. I haven't read the report, though. I know she wasn't there for a long time.
So what do you think the problem was there? Me looking at, I missed the last meeting. Unfortunately, I couldn't be here. But I agree with you, plastic's not going to work, okay? I wouldn't go out and want to have a glass of wine in plastic. So then the other issue is, who's watching the shop? Who lets it get out of hand? I think it's more...
Excuse me, I didn't hear what you said. You coughed.
I think it's more your employment and who you're hiring. They should know when someone's getting out of control. You don't shut someone off after they're out of control, okay? She must have been at a point where she had already had quite a bit.
Well, she walked through the door. She got through the door, and then as she walked up to the bar, the bartenders refused to serve her. And we have two means of identifying if someone's intoxicated. One is through the door. Second is the police officer that's on duty. And then the third is the bartender. So we refused her to, service, and she got mad, saying we offered to give her money back, and she flipped out. The cop tried to calm her down, and the cop arrested her, which he was doing his job.
Okay, and I've heard the incident, I've read the report, but I still have to come back to the employment. Why are they not, this is a license, and I've always felt that you give out a liquor license to people that can control and can have a little hindsight as to where the patrons are going. You see someone drinking like her, or even coming in, if she had already had that much to drink, you say you have someone at the door, why was she allowed in there? What time did she come in?
I have no idea. I wasn't on that day, so I haven't seen the report.
So who was the bartender that night? I have a problem with people coming here for a hearing and we have to speak to a third party. It's very hard to get my questions answered. You're not there. You haven't read the report.
Well, to answer your question, I've been in the business for over 30 years. I have no violations against my record. My brother's been in this business for 30 years. So, I think I'm in full control of running an operation of that magnitude.
Sir, but we're talking about an incident that happened that evening that you said you weren't there. So I think that the bartender or your security at the front door should be here so I can ask them, how did she walk in there?
I didn't know we were talking about that matter, but I mean, I have no problem bringing my staff that worked that night. You can bring them back, you can ask them all the questions you want.
Well, I will
I was
agree.
coming here to, to talk about the incident when the police officer got hit.
Right. And you're probably right on that. We don't have this on the agenda, but I think it was right to bring it up just to show that.
Correct.
It happened again. But I guess where we left off at that meeting then was the plastic. I don't think it's going to help your business, plastic. I think it's your security.
It's going to be
I think
devastating, the
it's-
plastic.
I think it's, a little more hindsight as to what is going to take place. I go out and I can honestly see people who come in that could be problems. And I don't work a bar. And I just don't understand how these escalate and get to a point where they break a bottle over someone's head.
Well, the nature of that person who hit the cop, obviously he wasn't an upstanding citizen. I mean, he has no respect for, as I said last time, he has no respect for the law. I mean, he was bailed out before, Joe got his stitches put in his head. I mean, that's a court system problem. I mean, we have to start respecting the police officers.
Was this patron there at any time before? Is this his first time?
Oh, no, he's been there. He's been a regular customer. I mean, he's never had a problem with us. I mean, but he's not an upstanding citizen. I mean, he has a couple of open cases, that I found out afterwards. But in hindsight, if you have no respect for police officers, whether it's our place, the 99, Pizzeria Uno, these people don't mind going to jail. And I have no way to give you an answer to police those type of people.
Me personally, right there, I wouldn't allow him in my establishment, if you know that.
Well, I didn't know he had a criminal record until afterwards. I mean, I'm not profiling people coming through the doors, but there's a lot of people out there that don't have respect for police officers.
Well, I'm going to tell you, reading everything, and I know this new incident, obviously, you weren't called in on, but I personally don't think the plastic's going to help you. I think many other things can happen. I'm for, if it can't get under control, I think you need a suspension, and I think you need to regroup, get your employees together, and train them as to problem people that are walking through the door. I mean, this girl, well, we won't bring up that incident, but this fella obviously is a problem person. I don't know why he was allowed in there. That's my take on it. I think that I'm not one that should babysit someone's license and tell you how to feed people and how to, I think that giving you time to figure it out is the route I like.
Thank you.
But that being said, I would like to hear from my colleagues.
Well, one of the things, before this most recent incident, you were going to come back with maybe some operational updates. I know the cameras weren't up and running inside, I believe, at the time.
Well, since then, we have updated the DVR system. We have put new cameras in. Everybody has been recertified for training, which I believe we're the only people in the city that are recertified for security. I mean, Harley Davidson's throwing an event, and they have no security staff that's trained. So, in all fairness, if it's good for me, it should be good for everyone else. So, as far as my security staff,
They're altogether different businesses.
I understand it's different business, but if they're still doing the same thing, it's still alcohol involved. But my security staff is very well trained, and I'm there every night. If one nights I'm not there, my brother's there. So, there's an owner on premise every night.
So, I know, like I said, we can't bring up the last incident, but as an example, this person did walk through to get in, and the assumption is if she threw a bottle, she was intoxicated before coming in. So let's assuming that that's the case, why wasn't that person stopped from getting in?
I don't understand. I don't know if she took a pill on the way in and it kicked in when she hit the bar, but she walks by 2 security staff, she walks by 2 police officers, and then the third line of defense was the bartender, which did her job, and she shut her off.
Okay, so, because that's, if someone just doesn't walk in and throw a bottle, she's got to be, or he or she's got to be under some kind of, substance or some kind of.
100%.
So, I guess when you came here for this, prior to this last event, what was your understanding why you came here?
We came in because the police officer got bottled by a patron that was in an altercation.
And we talked about potentially going with plastic, which obviously, doesn't work for you. And so, outside of that, what do you think are our options? Or do we need any? Do you think?
I think it's an isolated incident. I've owned the place for 6 years now, and it's the first time it happened in 6 years. Unfortunately, the guy, had no respect for the law, and since then, we banned him, no trespassing, he'll never be allowed in the establishment. I also banned him from my other clubs that I own. So, the penalty is there to show on our end. But as far as the court system, personally, he should go to jail. But they allowed him to bail himself out before the cop even left the hospital. That's not on me, that's on the court system.
I have a question, sir.
Yes.
Now, did you have an opportunity to read the police report?
Which one?
The one involving the last incident?
No, I did not.
Now, see, I have a problem with that. You are theoretically running the place.
I asked for it several times, and I was never given a...
An incident happened over a week ago in which a bottle is thrown. Potentially, it's a situation that you're coming here, and we're going to be addressing it, but you didn't think it was necessary for you to read that police report and make any type of comment or corrections or anything regarding that? I find that troubling. So, as far as going forward, I understand your staff is trained, and I appreciate that. I have the certificates. But I really feel that we need to come up with some protocols, and if we're not going to go to plastic, we need to ensure that your security system, the one that was recording 4 cameras, has been upgraded. I see
100% been upgraded.
I see the invoice, and I see that you have upgraded that situation. I also see that there's a protocol for preserving the video and putting it on USB and giving it to the police.
Correct.
Now, we need to establish that protocol when you have incidents like this, because we are not going to continue to allow people to go in places, act up, break bottles over people's heads. That's not going to happen.
Correct.
And if you can't control it, we will take the steps that we think are necessary to ensure that you control it.
I understand that.
Is there anything that you would like to add?
I put the full responsibility on the establishment. And I know you mentioned you go to court, and, what the court says, what's the local board doing about letting them run the establishment? So it does come back to us.
Correct.
Okay. So I honestly, I put full responsibility on you, or whoever your brother's...
Right, and I take full responsibility for my establishment.
It's your
Yes.
business. And when you applied for a license, everybody checks your background, and how legal is on someone who's responsible.
Correct.
Can handle the license.
And like I said, my background's impeccable. Between me and my brother and my partner, we have over 90 years of experience in this industry without an incident. And we have 4,000 or 5,000 people come to our places a week, so it's a lot of people that we're controlling.
But again, I ain't gonna blame the establishment. I'm not gonna blame anyone else who's in there. And as far as the incident that happened, yes, it's a court case, but this board doesn't look very responsible for allowing it to continue in our city.
Correct.
So I don't know what my colleagues have anything else to say, or I will...
Do you have anything else to add, Commissioner?
So I think he obviously he knows, he's a business owner and running this. And there's nothing, the concern is moving forward. Now, security, you have, on a typical Friday, Saturday night, how many?
We have 6 security staff, and we have 2 police details.
Okay. And that's all inside?
Correct. We were told not to go outside. That's the police matter.
Gotcha.
But we do have, I believe, 5 or 6 cameras that are outside patrolling the parking lot.
Okay. It's a tough business. It's a tough business. Because, some things you can't control. I don't know, I have nothing else to say.
Very good. Well, I think what we would do here is, I would like to submit a motion that in the future, when you have incidents involving violence and the police, that those incidents are recorded and USB'd and sent to the commission. okay?
That's fine.
And if you have incidents involving bottles being tossed or thrown or people hit with them, the commission wants to be notified of those incidents.
100%.
Do I have a second on those two motions?
I'll second the motion.
Very good. So the motion has been approved. And so what the motion is going to compel you to do is to record any incidents of violence on a USB and turn that USB to the commission. The other thing is that we are going to ensure that that video is viewed and that any incidents involving bottles and glasses being thrown or people hit with, that you are going to notify the commission of those incidents.
Correct.
Very good. And we will conclude this hearing.
Thank you very much.
No proponents, opponents, right?
Pardon me?
No proponents or opponents on the motion.
It was just a, oh, that's true, I should have.
I don't know if John was here for that, okay.
John, were you here for that?
He's here for a time.
Okay, very good. This would be item number 10. Four Partners, Inc., DBA Antonius at the Beach, 492 Revere Beach Boulevard. Rodrigo and Julo, manager. This is a hearing into complaints of excessive noise and disruption in the neighborhood, including entertainment past the licensed hours. Your name and address for the record,
Good
please,
afternoon,
sir.
Council. My name is Rodrigo Angulo, A-N-G-U-L-O. I'm one of the partners of Antonius at the Beach.
Very good,
And
sir.
I'm the
And can
manager.
you explain a little bit about what's going on over there? We've had some complaints regarding excessive noise.
Yes.
And operating after hours. I'd like you to address those, please.
Yes. First of all, I want to start with apologize to the commission, the police, and my neighbors. Since I got this notice February 7, I canceled all type of parties in that room. What I was doing for the last 3 months in order to get revenue, I'm a Spanish myself, so I started doing a Spanish night in the weekends. And I started 3 months ago, almost 4. But I noticed since we started for the last 3 months, the police has been called 6 times. I got the police reports here, I got everything. I bring it to her attention because I did bring my police reports. The police never find to be noisy or to be after hours. All 4 reports that I have here is in my favor. But like I said, I already canceled every time of party in that room. It's no longer going to be the Spanish night that I was supposed to get more revenue because of the incidents that happens. I just don't want to get problems with the neighbors. I've been there for 10 years, and I don't want to have the police be aheady on my side or you guys, the commission. I don't want to be here. So I just kind of resolve the problem. I cancel all type of parties in that room. No more parties. No more Spanish night there.
Okay. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions for Mr.?
Yes, Linda.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I come down here all the time, I have friends that live in the neighborhood. I don't understand what's going on. It seems now, from what I've seen, you're getting a late crowd.
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock now.
Yeah.
They're coming from Lynn, so it's,
Yeah, it wasn't working out. I apologize, like I said in the beginning. I canceled. I was doing a Spanish night during the weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. But like you said, they were coming late, and that's not good for me. Because the neighborhood, because I was thinking they will come and party around 8, 9, 10, but people are coming like at 11, 11:30, 12. It's kind of late, and it wasn't worth it. And like I said, that's the reason I'm here, that I want to apologize again, and I canceled that, so no longer you're going to hear from me, and I won't be here anymore since February 7th that I got this, because I did cancel all that parties that I have on that side. I have the normal, in the bar area, that I have the entertainment for every Saturday. I have from like 7 to 11 p.m. They have kind of jazz, that I have blue parties or stuff like that. But we never have any problem with jazz music, blue parties being there. And
your doors have to be closed. Your door they seem to leave that door open there, which is bothering the people, the units, on that side of the driveway.
Because
Not facing the building, right, you just have a small door.
now we're talking of the main entrance, right?
No, not the main.
Oh, the handicap door in the left side,
Right.
is it open?
Yes, it is. It should not be left open, because that music is coming out from there. And you're on the water, it's bouncing off the water.
One night, one of the patrons opened the door because she needs to get some fresh air, and we approached the lady, they were not supposed to. Yeah, but no, we don't, it's the handicap door, and it's winter time.
I'm down there quite a bit, the door's open, I can tell.
Is it, oh, well, I addressed that. My-
The other issue is, and I do understand, the beach is, just so many cars now, and it's very hard. So people are using your parking lot now, you did put a sign up.
Yes.
Patrons only.
Yes.
But now your patrons are using the parking lot, which they should be. But at night, there's nobody out there clearing them out of there. They seem to linger in the parking lots. I think that's most of your complaints.
Yes.
Is what takes place in your parking lot after you close.
Yes, I did hire for the last 2 weeks before this happened. I hired a security company, and my partner, we closed the place because on the weekends and two of my partners was there. So he in charge of the room. He bring the people to the cars and tell, please be quiet, just go home because we want to be nice to the neighbors. We did that for the last 2 weeks before we got this, but that was one of the issues. The people went to the cars, put the music, and they stayed there 5-10 minutes talking, and that's one of the issues. But
You're already addressing that?
yeah, we did. Like I said, I already canceled all parties. You're never going to hear Antonia's at 1 a.m, more people. I'm just going to have the regular crowd, like, you've been there at my place many times.
And last
So-
call, what time is last call? What
Oh,
time
1 in the
is-
morning.
Excuse me?
1 in the morning,
1 in the morning.
yes.
Because it seems like they're getting out of there at 2 o'clock. If you're serving your last drink at 1, they're sitting there for an hour. And I think you're getting a late crowd with the businesses closing at 1
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah, no, it wasn't worth it. That's why I closed it, because too much stress and this problem, so not longer. I did fix, no more.
Well, I would appreciate it if when you do close, they stay there till all cars are out of the lot.
Yeah,
And that would really alleviate a lot of your problems.
yes, especially to my neighbor. I don't even know him personally, but I don't want him, I wanted to go sleep and not to worry about my establishment. Like I said, I don't know if you were here, Linda, 3 years ago, the left side of the building complained about the same thing. I was here like 3 years ago, and I did talk to them,
That was all the lights you put on the side of the building. You were not
and the noise.
all the flashing lights.
And the noise too. They complain about the entertainment at that time, but I talked to them. It was like 2 neighbors on the left side of the building. And I never hear from them again because I got along with them. Now I got to get along with the guy from the right, but I already, like I said, shut down all kind of parties in that room that goes to that side of the building. So no longer it's going to happen. Like I said.
Glad you're addressing all these issues.
Yeah, I don't want no problems, like I say. I don't want to lose my license.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Powers, would you like to speak?
Good afternoon. John Powers, 46 Naponton Street, Revere. I happen to represent the area down there on the city council. I have had people call me with regard to the noise emanating from that establishment. I have had occasion 2 weeks ago to be in that area down there around at 11 o'clock in the evening, and I could hear music with my windows closed on my car, okay? Now, that may be or may not be an isolated incident. Hopefully, it is. And there's no one that wants to see that a restaurant or a series of restaurants established on the beach and become successful, because we're getting a good group of people coming in there now. We have a building down the street, 234 units. The beach house, we're getting some people that we want to have down in that building. And we certainly don't want to do anything that would discourage them from coming in there and signing a lease or down the road not renewing a lease. So I think when we first came before the council, the License Commission rather, several years ago, they were looking, not this gentleman, but perhaps someone else was looking to have bands and entertainment and floor shows, and the License Commission, in its wisdom at that time, said absolutely not. We certainly don't want to see an establishment down there turn into something like, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like the Lido, the problems we had down there years ago. And what I'd like to see down there is a nice restaurant. I think when we approved, your body approved the entertainment down there, it was, something that people could come in and dance to, maybe enjoy some music, piano music, dance music, whatever it might be, on a night out when they're having dinner. And I'm all for that, and I think that'll work down there. But I think to have noise over a certain decibel level emanating from that establishment, it's not good. It's not good for the residents down there. It certainly is not good for the overall of the city. And I would request that the gentleman, he has told me that he's canceled some events down there, would keep that in mind. And I am in the area, and I certainly periodically might be going in there to have a sandwich or something like that. And I certainly, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be keeping an eye on it, and I hope that this will be a wake-up call for yourself and your employees down there, what the entertainment you may have. Thank you.
Councilor, just a reminder, this could probably, again, I'm not having a very popular meeting, but if you remember, I don't think it was a year and a half ago, I, again, as I explained with this other place that comes in and wants to extend their hours and they want entertainment license, your constituents, Councilor, okay, so I don't think you should be problemed by this. This was probably the largest meeting that we ever had. This was packed wall to wall. To give Antonia's entertainment, they wanted a
Bands,
2
floor
o'clock
shows,
license.
you name it.
They wanted, and everyone in those condos packed this room.
Yep.
And they weren't very happy with me because I said we should not allow this type of entertainment. We know what happens when you give these licenses out. So for a good 6-8 months, I was very unpopular walking the beach. I can tell you now, every single one of them call me and say what a mistake they made. Because, and I'm sure you're running a good business, and they were going there, they were having a good time, but it changed. They changed the different band, they changed, and it's very hard for this board to say, you know what, we changed our mind, now we're not going to give you the entertainment. Once you give it, you give it. And those people came here because of one person who pushed them to come and said, no, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. She was working there at the time. And now people understand what I was trying to tell them. Now they're the same people that are calling me about the noise and what I should be doing to quiet this business down.
I agree, and prior to
I think you were
that...
at the meeting, Counselor.
Pardon?
I don't know if you were at the meeting, but there were quite a few at the
Yeah,
meeting.
prior to that meeting, I'm going back maybe 7, 8, 9 years, there was a meeting held in the auditorium.
Yes.
It was packed, and I was 100% opposed to the entertainment license, and my feeling was that, and I hate to keep mentioning the Lido, but that has been a problem in the past, and my feeling was that if, at that time, they weren't doing that well as a business, restaurant business, and once you give an establishment a license for bands, floor shows, you're creating another situation because they also have parking down there, and it would have created a situation where they could bring anything in they wanted and be disruptive to the residents that live on Revere Beach Boulevard and other sections of the city also that go through there. So my feeling is run it like a restaurant. have a piano player in there, I might enjoy that
That's what we're
myself.
looking for, and
Yeah.
that's what it used to be. It was
And I think
wonderful.
I think because of the clientele, we have residents moving into this city right now, particularly in a building like Beach House. I understand that people have signed leases in Beach House because they're terminating their leases in other areas on the other side, not the other side of down on Ocean Avenue there, one of those places, people are terminating their leases because they want peace and quiet. They want to, have a nice atmosphere, and I think that's what we want also. I know the License Commission wants that, and I, as a representative of the people down there, also want that. And let's hope we can get to that situation.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much for
And
your
That's
indulgence.
exactly why I proceed with caution. I know what people say one day, but it always changes.
I agree.
So we have to be very careful, and I think anyone that runs a good restaurant on Revere Beach with what's going on now, and as you said, the people coming in, going to be very successful.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Have a
Councilor.
good day. Yep, thank you.
Mr. Angulo, as you can see, they take the noise situation very seriously, and I think it's incumbent on you to come up with ways to abate the noise, whether it's using noise-reducing curtains or, ensuring that your employees are very conscious of noise leakage through open windows and doors, because that is going to be the key going forward, because I'm going to tell you now, as the weather gets nicer, people are going to open their windows, and your employees are going to open the windows there. And that's not going to work for you, because those people will be here, and we will have to do something. And so you really need to impress upon your employees that they need to really focus on noise reduction and clearing the parking lot.
I even tell you, Council, I have cracked windows by
Yes,
the
I've
water.
seen them.
I took the little
the
thing,
cranks off?
I took
Okay.
it out, so people, because like I said, patrons, by midnight, they're too hot.
I understand,
They
I understand.
do it not on purpose, but they do it because they want the fresh
But-
air to come in. But in order to cut that noise and stuff like that, so I took the crank, little thing that they used to open the windows is no longer there, so people cannot open.
Well, I mean, this is something that your staff is going to have to be very, very aware of.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye.
Well, I hope going forward,
sorry.
we don't have to see you again, because probably if we see you again, probably you won't have to worry about the 1 o'clock hour. You'll probably be more 12, so you won't be getting that real late crowd.
Yeah.
All right, so
So-
we
Well, that's
want,
why I cancel all that.
Please, just be a good neighbor. That's
Yes.
all this board wants.
we want people to succeed down the beach. The beach is the crown jewel of the city, and we want it to be a place that everybody can go and enjoy. And that means the people that live there as well. So, we want you to be successful, but we also want them to live in peace. And so we have to find a balance.
I agree, sir.
All right, so if we can work to that,
Yes.
we will do that. So I think what we should do is maybe continue this hearing for 3 months, give us an opportunity to see how the beginning of the summer goes, or the beginning of the nice weather.
Okay.
And so if you would come back in 3 months, and we'll see exactly what we're going to do
Sure.
at that point.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to make a motion that we continue this hearing for 3 months.
Okay.
Just another question, just because I've opened this up before. Do you apply for your outdoor seating for the summer?
I mean, you have to apply every year?
It's supposed to be every year. Renew it every year, don't they have to outdoor seating?
Not with the stay.
Oh, okay, as long as you've already applied for it, you
Oh, yeah,
have it?
yeah, I had it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to
Yes.
check.
Yeah, and we don't sell alcohol outside.
No,
We're not
I know
allowed
it.
to sell alcohol outside.
Right.
All right, very good, sir. So we're going to
Okay.
continue this hearing for 3 months.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Linda.
much.
Thank you.
Yes, can we help you?
It's Aladdin's.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. My name is Abir. I'm owner Aladdin Zikrel. I'm so sorry about what happened, but I want to know, you talk about, I'm so sorry, maybe I'm speaking English a little bit. I'm Laren.
What's your name first, and you're from where, the Aladdin?
Aladdin, I'm Abir. My name is Abir. I'm owner Aladdin Zikrel. Just I wanna know. I make sure. I wanna do everything right way. I wanna do everything. Everybody here, you can happy. I'm happy also. Around you, behind you. I wanna help. My restaurant, slowly, very slowly. If you wanna, guys, I do everything what you want.
You've already been here for your applicant, though. The hearing is over.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
I went back and I told her that you got upset with the lawyer and everything. So
No,
she
no, I
wanted-
didn't
she
get
wanted
upset
to
at all, just
apologize.
wanted
Yeah.
to know if
The
you were, no.
lawyer wasn't right with you by saying, but the restaurant will stay as it is.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying
I
to say.
swear,
but you wouldn't
restaurant
let
as
us.
it is restaurant.
oh, I'm not offended at all.
You
No.
talk, everybody here, you know, I want to do second floor. Maybe you agree with me, maybe no. Just I want to push it, restaurant, slowly. I told everybody, because you can check how I make it money, how I spending, what.
Well, that's going to be a different issue. When you do that, you'll have to apply, that's all.
Yes, no, she,
Go
I
second
told
floor.
her that you got a little upset with the answer that the lawyer gave you and everything, but the restaurant is gonna stay as it is. We're not planning to change it into a sport bar or a
That
club or
promise.
stuff.
I'm honor, I'm a promise, I keep it my
Oh, I didn't think
promise.
that's where it was going. I did not, that wasn't what I was referring to,
Yes.
that you were going to put another restaurant upstairs.
something
I'm not
like that.
offended at all, please don't feel that way. I just think it was kind of abrupt going past me and asking for another opinion. I have my opinion and I have the right to it.
No, we asked before, and that's how we got informed, that if anything that we do, for example, if I'm applying now for a license, and I'm planning to do a second floor, I have to bring the plans to you guys, which one we not have anything.
Not
We
yet,
don't even
huh?
have a design. But the restaurant, as a restaurant, is gonna stay as it is. It's just that I'm having people walking out. Because they come in, they cannot bring their own wine, we don't serve it. And we have reservation being called out. Can we cancel
cancel,
because we're
yeah.
checking that you don't have beer and wine? That's what was the application.
Yeah.
But when I told her, she got upset, she closed her
Oh,
restaurant.
no
She's-
problem.
She
Don't-
wants to come and
Absolutely.
apologize.
Don't worry about
We
it,
want you
honestly.
folks to succeed, and, we want you to do well there, and so, we're
Yes.
hoping that you will do well there.
That's everything that she wanted to say, everything you guys need,
Yes,
everything we're
I
gonna
can
do.
do that.
We're
Yeah.
gonna go through guys first and make that,
But just as we
place
protect,
nice and happy.
we protect your business as to where you're going and what you're going to do. If we didn't do that, all the businesses around there could hurt your business. So we like to be sure of what we're voting for and where it's going, and, but absolutely not. I wish you luck,
We wanna do
and
that.
I hope it
also.
helps you out with your business.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, guys. My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming
Take care.
back.
Shut this off.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We have some communications. We have... Yes, yes, I made a motion, and I think, John, did you...
Which one, on which one?
I think John seconded it.
Yeah, John seconded.
Yeah, I did.
Please. So we have a notice from the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission approving the transfer application of Santorna, Inc., DBA Rice Passions. Also, number 2, a notice from the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission approving the change of manager of Revere Restaurant Group, Inc., DBA Tio Juan Margarita Mexican Restaurant. Number 3, we have a notice from the Massachusetts Alcohol Beverage Control Commission approving the transfer application of Nishta LLC, DBA The Breadbasket Discount Store. For license renewals for 2018, Common Victular, Cafe Monte Cristo, Inc., Broadway Pizza, Inc., Gabe Saad, DBA 7-Eleven, La Esquina del Sabor, Inc., KTJV Corp., DBA Nick's Deli, BW's Grill, LLC. For entertainment, we have Cafe Monte Cristo, Inc., DBA Monte Cristo Mexican Grill, La Esquina del Sabor, Inc. For precious metals and jewelry, Larry Bagnera, DBA La Villa Jewelry. Second-hand dealer, Larry Bagnera, DBA La Villa Jewelry. Pawnbroker, Larry Bagnera, DBA La Villa Jewelry. Fortune Teller, Miri Wasso, DBA Revere Psychic Studios. The Class II Motor Vehicle Dealer, Exotic Auto Group, Inc. That concludes the renewals for this meeting. The next meeting will be March 21st at 3 p.m. All those,
Commissioner, at this time, I'd like to put this applicant back on for next month's meeting. She didn't show, so we can give her another hearing.
oh, yes, okay, we'll put on Angelica Cardona Ramirez, Cafe Choco Latte LLC, on for the next meeting. Also, before we go, I would like to make a motion to send letters to some establishments that were involved in the recent drug arrests along Revere Beach. And I'd like to have Sammy's Patio come forward and explain their situation in that, as well as BK's and the Buster Bar on Shirley Ave. And do I have a second for that sending of the letters?
I'll second the motion.
That motion is approved to send letters requesting the appearance of the three aforementioned liquor establishments to appear before the next commission meeting on March 21st. Is there any other business that needs to be attended to?
I don't believe so.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second that motion.
The meeting is adjourned.